And we are live. It's the Revved Up 906 podcast, a Detroit Pistons podcast to be exact. And I'm Hudson.
And I'm Ryan.
And before we get into tonight's recap of the Detroit Pistons versus the Denver Nuggets, I want to remind you guys of a few things. First off, if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we bring the community, the Pistons community, a lot of Detroit Pistons content, whether it's recaps, the Saturday episodes, or the clips, or the just overall game day posts on Instagram. We're bringing all kinds of Detroit Pistons content. So stay in the know with everything Detroit Pistons by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Also, if you like our content, if you happen to somehow like our content, no, we're a blast. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button and comment below because each and every episode, whether it's a recap or a Saturday post, we are talking about important things that are crucial to the Pistons organization. And with you, the fans, we would love to know what you guys have to say with everything going on with the Detroit Pistons. So make sure to comment below and interact with our YouTube channel. And if you want to be the first to know when our content is coming out, make sure to hit that bell button on our YouTube channel. That will give you a notification every time we post a clip or an episode to our YouTube channel. Without further ado, let's get into tonight's recap of the Detroit Pistons versus the Denver Nuggets. Tonight's final score was 114 to 131 in the Denver Nuggets' favor. And Ryan, when talking about this matchup, I don't know what hurt us more. Our biggest rebounder of the night with Isaiah Livers with 5, so doing so little on the boards, or Nikola Jokic giving us 16 assists in 25 minutes. Ryan, what are some of your first thoughts when talking about this matchup versus the Denver Nuggets?
Well, first off, the first 2 quarters for us, fantastic. I'm just going to throw that out there. Some of the best defense we've played in a while. And honestly, this whole away game trip, our defense has been top notch. Our offense has been top notch. But it fell apart in the third quarter there. That's when it got worse. But overall, Jokic with the assists left and right, just breaking us down every single time out there, hurt us a lot. Losing Cade hurt us probably the most. And then rebounding obviously is going to hurt. When you have 37 rebounds, that's not great. But even though as bad as that is, the Nuggets had 38 rebounds. So realistically, it wasn't that big of a difference. So that's what that didn't hurt us. It was the assists from Jokic, particularly. He had 16 as a team. They had 35. We had 28. They had 13 turnovers. We had 11 turnovers, which is great. And then fouls, we had 20. They had 23. So it was pretty much back and forth. What hurt us is just our overall defense in the third quarter. And then Jamal Murray put on an absolute clinic too. And then it hurts losing Cade, obviously, for the long run. I don't know the length of how long he's out, how they're going to reevaluate it. All that it is a left knee sprain right now. That's being reported. So hopefully he comes back soon. But I would say that it's Jokic that really killed us tonight.
Well, and to speak to your point on the Pistons struggling defensively tonight against the former NBA champions, is the Denver Nuggets had nearly 7 players in double digits, 5 secured double-digit points, and then 2 that were right on the brink. When you have that many of guys putting up double-digit points, and especially 2 guys with nearly 20 and then 1 guy with 37 and Jamal Murray, and we'll talk a little bit more about him, but the Pistons just weren't able to slow down this vetted Nuggets team, because if you think about it, they have so many offensive savvy players, guys that know how to shoot off the dribble or off the catch and shoot. Former Detroit Piston Kentavious Caldwell Pope is just such a a beloved player by so many different NBA teams now, the Lakers, the Denver Nuggets, and of course the Pistons still appreciate his stint. And he had 18 points for the Denver Nuggets tonight, 6 of 10, 3 of 6 from the field. This Nuggets team just takes high quality shots and just doesn't make that many mistakes. And you know what? 13 turnovers for the Denver Nuggets, believe it or not, is quite a bit. And so the fact that the Pistons were able to keep the turnovers less than the Nuggets was pretty impressive to me. But this Denver Nuggets team is just very vetted and savvy.
Yeah, and also what killed us too was the fact that the Nuggets were at 87% at the line, making 27 of 31 free throws. That's crazy. And they were 58% from the field, 37% from three, which isn't great for them 3-point wise. We were 47% from the field, 37% from three too, but then we were 70% at the line, making 21 of 30 free throws. The Nuggets, as vetted as they are, you look down their roster. Obviously, they have a lot of young depth too, and in Watson, and then Colin Gillespie, Christian Braun. Those three in particular. Michael Porter Jr. still in the young category in my eyes. But when you have that kind of talent in your young players, which this is like no offense to our guys, but those four guys, I would take them over a lot of the guys on our bench, just because of how clean and good they are. The Nuggets, they're not going after, well, obviously where they're drafting, they're not drafting in the lottery. They're drafting outside of the lottery. So they're going after guys who, college career wise, were spectacular players who are known for being that kind of like good overall quality player that no matter what level they're at, they're going to have success. That's the kind of player they always go after. And it always works for them in the end. And then just even the depth of having like DeAndre Jordan coming off your bench too. Like he is up there in age, but he doesn't play like he's up there in age. He had 9 points in 21 minutes, along with 7 boards and an assist and a block. Like I'm not complaining if that's what I get out of DeAndre Jordan if I'm the Nuggets. So the depth of the Nuggets, and you bring in KCP and all these guys, they're probably the deepest team in the West and arguably the league in terms of overall talent and every single step you take down. And so when you're competing against a deep team, like we competed against the Jazz the other night, they are a deep team too. Not as deep as the Nuggets here, but they are deep. When you're competing against a deep team, you really have to be firing on all cylinders, because if you're not, and you have a terrible quarter like we did in the third, bad things are going to happen. They're going to go on a roll. The crowd's going to get into it, and that's game. So I credit to the Nuggets a lot for their depth, because they know how to play. They really bring it every night, and there's not much you can do about it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when a team has a deep bench, you see them pull away these games in the second half, like we saw, like clockwork in this Pistons game, because like you said, it was a neck and neck game the whole first half. There was actually 8 lead changes in the first quarter and within the first 4 minutes of the second quarter. So the Pistons proved that they could get it out and run, keep up with the starters, especially with Nikola Jokic really not shooting any shots. He shot 3 shots in the game in 25 minutes, had 4 points. We gotta talk about that a little bit. I mean, Jokic didn't even like, he came into the game and was just like, I'm not gonna shoot. Like, I'm just gonna pass, rebound, do my time, and go out midway through the third quarter, like we saw him do. I think he's not trying to play any more minutes than he has to. I think he's trying to go out, do his thing, get the job done, and take his paycheck. I think that's what kind of Jokic is all about. And I think that speaks to how great he is, being able to just be like, you know what? I'm going to pass and rebound. And he finishes with 7 rebounds and 16 assists. I mean, that's so impressive in just 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's impressive because he plays with so much ease. Like you said, like the fact that he had 16 assists and 7 rebounds. If you look at that, if you're not even paying attention really to the box score, and you see the 16 assists and 7 boards, you're going like, oh, he had 16 points and 7 rebounds. That's a great game. But no, that's assists. That's much harder. So,
Yeah.
and the fact
Yeah.
that he did that in 25 minutes, only took 3 shots. He wasn't even looking for a shot all night. He was just looking to set up his teammates, which shows you how great of a player he is. Only the great players in the game really look for others before themselves. And that's no disrespect to any of the players in NBA history who are known for taking good quality shots or anything like that and know how to score. That's no disrespect. But Jokic is just, he's not a freak of an athlete. He breaks you down by the fundamentals, which is even more impressive. So this is hats off to him, because I thought going into tonight we were going to have to slow him down offensively in terms of scoring the ball.
Yeah.
I was not worried. I mean, he's a fantastic passer, case in point, but I was not expecting him to play the way he did tonight. But it seemed like his dynamic with Jamal Murray is, okay, you can go have your night off. You can go off tonight. I'll go off tomorrow night. It's all good. No worries. That's what it seems like that their dynamic is. Because Murray put on a show. He had 37 points, 14 of 24 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3, 6 of 7 at the line. Like, that's not a bad game offensively, scoring the ball. And then including, he had 5 boards, 4 assists, a steal, and a block, and only 1 turnover all night. Like, that's he put on a masterpiece. But yeah, I was expecting to stop Jokic from scoring. I was not expecting this. So this definitely hurt, especially when you have a younger Pistons team who can't play defense to save their lives majority of the game so far this year. And so when you have Jokic, as skillful as a passer as he is, breaking us down left and right, it really hurt us.
Something that I noticed when watching tonight's game, and Cade only played 10 minutes and went 1 of 6 from the field in those 10 minutes. But I noticed that with Cade maneuvering through 3 levels on the offensive end, trying to find his shot, when he was under the rim at one point, 4 Denver Nuggets players just crowded him. So I know it's just a knee sprain. Okay, I get it. Maybe it's going to be a couple weeks, maybe a week, maybe longer. You never know. But this loss of the injury to Cade is so brutal, because this guy right now is playing such a high level of basketball that he is having the former NBA champions have 4 guys just ball hawk him. It's so unfortunate he went down with this knee injury, but I wanted to just talk about that for a second for those that are listening, to know that this is the kind of attention he's garnering on people's game plans. This is what Mike Malone was like, hey guys, we know Jalen Duren's going to get his double-double, which he didn't tonight, but we got to prevent that, follow the game plan. But then they're also like, and you know what, when Cade gets to the paint or when he's trying to find his shot, that's where he's best. Everyone ball hawk him. We got to draw, everyone's got to keep attention to Cade, because if you can slow down Cade, you're going to win by double digits. Well, he ended up getting injured, but I think that Cade is just playing really, really well. And this is a tough loss for the Pistons, because I realize that Kevin Knox is playing all right. He struggled tonight, but in the last couple of weeks, he's been playing good. I'm glad he's getting more playing time, more than likely with Cade out. But this is a huge loss, because it's like, as Pistons fans, to be honest, it's like some nights you're like, okay, we know this is going to be a loss, but we got Cade. You know what I mean? You're like, but Cade's balling, Cade's putting up 25, 30. Now you take that away and it's like, oh, it's such a pain. But that's just something that I took away from these last couple matchups. And it was evident in Cade's first 10 minutes in tonight's matchup that teams are game planning to just absolutely ball hawk this guy.
Yeah, it's like they know, well, we all know as Pistons fan, the offense runs through Cade. It really does. Like, if you eliminate Cade, it's like there's a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off running around out there. And that's not me being mean. It's just true. Because we saw last year, like, without Cade, we struggled a lot from time to time, just in ball movement alone. Granted, we had Corey Joseph, who was a great vet player for us. We had a couple good other vet pieces around there that really knew how to create opportunities for others and passing the ball and creating lanes for others. This year, we add more depth, but they're not kind of the same ballpark of players. And Monte Morris, I think if he's healthy going forward, it won't look like chickens with their heads cut off, because realistically, Monte Morris is a great facilitator. So I'm excited to see that potentially if he is to return soon and Cade is out for a while. I'm excited for that because I think our offense, yeah, it will take a dip, but I don't think it will take that much of a hit as we would think it would be. But yeah, Cade not being out there, you saw all game long. Like when he was in the game, as you mentioned, they were ball hawking him 24/7. Like they were following him everywhere. And then as soon as he's gone outside of the lineup, it's like the Nuggets are just playing their normal game. They're not worried about him at all. They're focusing on just playing good, solid defense, not focusing on one guy in particular. Like the fact, this is no disrespect. I love DeAndre Jordan, but like even with Duren out there, the way he was playing tonight, which was great offensively, he was very aggressive, more so than usual. I think that's because Cade was out, but still, when you have DeAndre Jordan guarding you, and there's no care in the world really by the Nuggets of Duren, it shows you like, yeah, we won this game because Cade's not here, he's not playing. We can easily win this now. I think every single team in the league knows that this Pistons team, as bad as they've been lately, and as long as the streak that they had in terms of losing is now gone, they know like they're not. This is not going to be an easy win going in there. But if we can eliminate Cade, then it's going to be an easy win because they all see the same thing we see in Cade, that Greg Kelser sees, that George Blaha sees, that Johnny Kane sees, that everybody sees, is that Cade is elite at scoring the ball. And if you take him out, it's an easy win.
The last thing I want to mention before we wrap up tonight's Revved Up recap is you made a little tidbit about it, is Jalen Duren obviously making a huge impact on the offensive side tonight, finishing with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 of 12 shooting, which I love, and then 20 in 29 minutes. But obviously Jalen Duren broke his consecutive double. He had, I believe, 8 in a row. This would have been his 9th, and he only ended up with 5 rebounds. But this is kind of me starting a petition to give Jalen Duren the ball, because this was the game where we haven't seen him put up 12 shots in a long, long time. He does not even usually put up double-digit shots. Jalen Duren, each and every night, should at least be getting up 15 shots a game. That's what I have to say about it, because even a game like tonight where he didn't dominate the ball, but he had the ball the most he's probably ever had this season because Cade's been around, and he still shot very efficient, only missing 4 shots. And his free throw shooting was pretty impressive for a big man. He had 4 of 6 from the free throw line. So he's also showing that he can shoot pretty efficient from the free throw line. But Ryan, I think this week's episode that comes out on Saturday might just have to be about get Jalen Duren the ball.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I saw this before we even drafted him. In his short time at Memphis, he actually had a jump shot. He can shoot the ball. He just, they're not garnering him to go like, oh, hey, take that jump shot. They're mainly having Cade have the ball, be the main focal point, or Bojan taking that 3, Livers taking that 3. We'll hit you in the paint during whenever you have an opportunity to, but you're going to be our paint beast essentially. But given the opportunity, Jalen Duren has a jump shot and he can hit it any day. We saw him like crossing over DeAndre Jordan in the paint. He has good handles. He just doesn't utilize this, I guess you could say, asset or aspect of his game. He doesn't utilize it a whole lot, but he does have it. So I completely agree with you. I think he should be at least taking 15 shots a night. If not 15, at least 10, right? At least more than he has been. because the last couple nights he's been shooting like 6 to 8 shots a night, and that's about it. Rich, I'm not complaining if he's making those shots and he's still getting a
Right.
double-double because he's having a big impact on the game no matter what. But if he can get more of a scoring load that he had tonight, which 20 points, not complaining about that at all, and only missing 4 shots, still efficient. If he can do this along with still getting his boards like he has been and still be that paint beast that he has all season long, man, I would be pumped for that because even with Cade out there and Duran doing something like this still, like Cade has been playing at such a high level recently, getting 30 points pretty much with ease on a daily basis. You add Duran with the 20, how are you containing the two of them? And then the way that they played the other night and just working off each other, that adds a whole nother level to this. So I want to see Duran shooting the ball more, and I want to see that tandem, what it would be like if he were to shoot more, because I think the two of them alone, that's a lethal combination, and it's hard to contain.
That will do it for tonight's recap of the Detroit Pistons versus the Denver Nuggets. Tonight's final score was 114 to 131 in the Denver Nuggets' favor. Before you guys leave, I want to shout out Grind Clothing Co. They are Revved Up 906 official merch sponsor. You can click the link in our YouTube bio or in the description below, where you can find polos, much like the one I'm wearing in today's recap. You can find hats, bucket hats, bags, t-shirts, sweatshirts, crew necks, all the above. So make sure to click those links and go support your favorite Detroit Pistons podcast, Revved Up 906. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you do that, we will see you guys in the next recap. Peace.